Hey everyone, happy Saturday! For today's video, I will be making macarons and also be explaining my reading plan for Exodus. First, I started off by sifting all my dry ingredients. You don't need that many things to make macarons, however, it is extremely hard to perfect the cookies. I remember the first time I made macarons, it was in 8th grade and I failed miserably, but through a lot of practice, I am at a stage where I can make them and they actually look recognizable. After I was done sifting them, I used my spatula to mix the almond flour and the powdered sugar together. This is me just cutting some parchment paper and preparing my piping bag because once the meringue is done, you want to start working quickly with the batter. I have already separated the egg yolks from the egg whites. It's time to make our meringue, and for this you don't need any of the yolks, so I put that aside, and I also have 1/4 cup of sugar ready with me. This step does take quite a while, but it's cool to see the egg whites turn into this cloudy texture. I've also added some food coloring because I wanted it to be a kind of beige coffee color, and I beat the egg whites until stiff peaks. It's super important to get it stiff. I read online that if you wanted to get brown, you have to add all the colors together, and when I did that, I got purple, and so I had to add some more red and yellow. This process is called the macaronage. It's where you combine the dry ingredients along with the egg whites, and the purpose is to push out all the air that was previously added to the meringue, and this is where your cookies can go completely wrong, or it can turn out really nice. You can see me pushing the batter against the side of the bowl, and this is to basically, again, push the air out, and I kept on doing this until I got the desired texture. People say that you want it to look like lava, but I don't know what that looks like, so I just do it until it kind of flows nicely. After I was done macaronaging, is that even a word? But after I was done with that, I went ahead and poured it into the piping bag that I had previously prepared, and it can get a little messy, but that's the fun of baking, so just have fun with everything and don't stress out too much because you can always clean up. Now comes my favorite part, it's piping. I can do this 24/7, I never get bored of it. It's so satisfying to do and watch, and it's honestly sometimes the reason I make macarons. I know it sounds bad, but it's delicious, so nothing to lose. It's also really important to tap and get rid of all the big air bubbles, or else your cookies will grow sideways and look super ugly. This recipe that I use makes 3 trays, maybe around 20 or more cookies, so I repeat this process of piping, tapping the tray, and cleaning up the big bubbles 3 times. I'll usually only dye the shells and leave them plain, but for today I felt like decorating them, so I used coffee beans and ground cinnamon. I put one on each cookie and then sprinkled some cinnamon all over, and then I realized that I'm going to be sandwiching these anyway, so there's no reason for me to decorate everything, but the more the merrier, and don't they all look so adorable? Anyways, after that, all we have left is to wait for the cookies to dry and form a skin on top, and then they go into the oven to bake. I have no clue why I'm saying bye-bye over here. I, in real life, had to wait around 30 minutes for the cookies to be ready, but you guys, because I'm editing, are gonna see me right away in like 30 seconds, but every time I bake macarons, this is what I've wanted to do the most, is to film a time lapse of the cookies rising and then falling a bit. Oh, it's so satisfying. It takes around 17 minutes for the cookies to fully bake, and after I leave them outside to cool and move on to making my filling. I chose to make a basic buttercream frosting, and starting from now, I'm going to be talking about my reading plan for Exodus, and you can just enjoy me baking in the background. It's not going to be too crazy different from the way I read through Genesis, so you don't have to have a panic attack, it's all good. But when I started my journey, or even before it, I always had a question/worry in my mind. It was, how am I going to read through the book of Psalm without getting bored? Because there's like 150 chapters in it, right? So my wonderful mom came up with the idea, and she suggested that while I read through Exodus, on the weekends I take a break from that and read out loud 1 chapter from Psalms. And when I first heard that, I was like, genius, hello, thank you. I really like the idea of it, so I think I'm going to try it out. I'm not going to be sharing any takeaways. It's literally going to be me reading out loud, so you can always listen to it maybe while doing dishes or like doing homework or stuff like that, so I think I'm going to give it a go. That was a short but very necessary update to my future plans and how I'm going to continue on my journey with the next book. And with that said, our macarons are complete. I would definitely say that these were one of the best tasting macarons I've ever made, and so I'm really proud of that. And I decided to pack a couple of them in this plastic bag and share with my neighbors. Of course, I wore my mask when going over to them. I just handed it over, and that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for joining yet another journey. I know that I took a bit of a break for a couple days, but that was for school. I was quite busy, but I hope to see you again maybe tomorrow or Monday with Exodus. Bye!